December 7th, 1941. The Japanese attack Pearl Harbor in Hawaii, and America soon goes to war with Japan. On February 19, 1942, President Roosevelt issues Executive Order 9066, giving the government authority to banish and imprison anyone considered dangerous to U.S. national security. Without trials or hearings, American citizens are forced into internment camps. Because they are Japanese and now considered an enemy race, more than 110,000 men, women, and children are imprisoned. The first evacuation of Japanese Americans from their homes took place in April 1942. 1,500 people boarded trains in San Diego, California, not knowing their destination. They brought only what they could carry. They arrived first at temporary assembly centers, like this one at Santa Anita Park, a racetrack in Arcadia, California. From there, they were moved to internment camps. One camp was in Paulston, Arizona. The living arrangements in these isolated locations were Spartan. Whole families lived in single rooms. Because Paulston was only partially built when it opened, few supplies were available. Out of necessity, men took up woodworking, constructing furniture and goods from remnants of wood found in the camp. Everyone worked to have as normal a life as possible. In time, the camp started to resemble a small town, with churches, schools, and even softball leagues and tennis courts. But behind the facade of a normal life, Americans were prisoners. In 1943, the US government began the process of moving people out of the camps. The process started with the distribution of loyalty questionnaires. These questionnaires were lengthy and confusing. Most of those who failed the loyalty test were sent to segregation camps. Finally, in 1945, the War Department lifted restrictions and allowed everyone to return home. But the journey back to a normal life would be difficult. Some people had nowhere to go because they had sold their homes and belongings before they'd been forced to move. It would not be until 1988, when President Ronald Reagan signed the Civil Liberties Act, that some justice would be served. This act granted $20,000 to every person alive who lived in a camp. And it was a national apology for a grave injustice. In the end, no person of Japanese ancestry residing and interned in the United States was ever charged or convicted of espionage or sabotage.